right before the stream went live. That was good. All right, let's check and see. We have a live reception from YouTube as far as I can tell. Waiting to see alerts pop up on my phone. Let's activate. There's another new version of this? It's okay, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. All right, let's activate. And live chat and activate. Okay, we look like we're good on all sources. Click the button to start that. I heard the beep. So then we proceed with our test one. I didn't hear a beep. So, even though that says live chat, test one, but it's not showing up there. Okay, so it must be the wrong widget. So let's go ahead and select social stream here. And let's check to make sure. Aha. Which one is it currently on? There's two of them. Well, that's interesting. They have the same name. All right, well, let's do test two. I don't know why sometimes it accepts what's there and sometimes it doesn't. Yep, there it is. Got it. All right, I got the right one. So that's good. Let's test our other windows just to be on the safe side. So this would be test, technically 3. And there it is. And test 4. And there it is. Everything's there. Okay, so we're good there. So we can go ahead and press the share button there. And then we'll do enter, and 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 one more enter. And that is everything. Close Discord. Okay. I can close this window. And now I just need to wait for Instagram to finish what it's doing. And then we'll be set to go. An early stream today because this is the time where I know I have time. So yeah, this week is everything is a little off this week because my mother is visiting. So I'm building this around when I have time. And this will probably be my only stream. Maybe tomorrow, early, but I don't want to even commit to that because I don't know that that's going to happen. So for right now, I'm just going to stick with saying today is probably going to be it. Post. And, okay. And we are, come on. Here we go. We are done. Okay, I can put this aside. And now I just need to move my keyboard. And then we're ready to go. 3.5 minutes, not bad. So let's go ahead and roll the opening. Oh, and assuming that my share screen is showing correctly, but I guess we'll find that out in a minute, won't we? We're gonna know that in a second. Oh, I have to turn the screen off too. Boom, there we are. Okay, well, that's interesting. It's not supposed to look like that. Hold on. There we go. That fix it? Wow, it is really struggling with that, huh? Hold on. That's interesting. I don't know why it's... Let's see if that does it. Oh, it didn't like that either. Oh boy, it is not liking the reflector output today. Let's take a look here. Why? Usually that's pretty reliable. Let's just switch it. There. It's not showing anything interesting. There we go. Just had to switch it off, switch it on. Sometimes you just have to turn it off and on again. Okay, we're good. There. All right. So today, I'm going to keep working on... Oh, did this finish posting? I can close this. Yes, it did. Great. Let's close that. And gone. Now everything is closed and I don't need open. I'm going to continue working on a piece that I started a while ago, and I just keep kind of going away from it, coming back to it, which this was originally going to be a piece for a card that somebody had commissioned. But in the end, they just didn't... We went in a different direction. This was one where... I'm trying to remember what exactly happened with this one. Because I had done this, And at first they liked it, and then they were kind of thinking about it, and I don't remember what they ultimately wanted to go with. I still did the cards, so it was fine, but they wanted something a little different than this. I just don't remember what it was. I can't remember what that ultimately ended up being. But this is, it was fine. I don't have any problem with somebody changing their minds. Sometimes that's what happens. That's fine. Because like I said, I ultimately did a card anyway. It was something like this where it was children controlling somebody. But I liked the image. So I kind of figured, well, I'll just save the sketch and I'll just do it myself. And, I could just create it as its own image sometime. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. So I'm just, this is kind of an in-between other type of thing image. So, yeah. And I did the... If you were here for the last stream, or if you're watching this sequentially or chronologically, I guess. On the last stream, I was talking to somebody who had commissioned a card, and I just finished doing the initial transfer of that card to the drawing paper. So I'm just letting the ink on the initial outline dry. It's the only problem with the magic cards. I've talked about this before. Is with the pens that I use, which are called Copic pens, C-O-P-I-C. The ink on those, you really have to let it dry. Almost like painting with oil. If you've never painted with oil paint, you have to let that dry once you're done for at least a couple weeks, at least in the climate for Northern California. We have to let those paintings sit for about 2 weeks before that paint really dries. And these pens, now I don't have to wait 2 weeks, but I definitely cannot just keep going with these pens, or all the colors will bleed into each other, which is good when you want that to happen. It's not good when you don't want it to happen. And that's the trick, is you have to get the colors down, especially blacks. Blacks they'll bleed into everything. So since my initial things are always black, I don't want the colors to get blackened. So you have to be careful with that. So I'm waiting for the black outline to dry before I can go in and start doing anything with it. And I usually let that sit for a couple of days just to be on the safe side. My guess is it would probably be fine after 1 day, but I have such a fear of ruining a card just because of ink bleed that I go overboard on waiting. So I just figure, well, if 1 day is enough, then I'm going to let it sit for 2, and that way it's definitely going to be dry. So that initial transfer is done. Now I'm just waiting for the ink to dry, the outline ink to dry before I start doing anything else. And the other thing, the other danger, which is easy to forget about when you're working on something, at least in this type of thing where the paint, or the ink I should say, is wet, is you have to be very careful where you put your hands. Because if you move your finger across that ink surface, it's going to smear all over the place. So that's another reason I like to go really, really overboard on the drying process, because that way if I do come back to it and I brush my finger on it, the chances it will smear are next to nothing compared to if I do it too soon. And I have done it. And the one time I did it, where I actually hit the thing with my finger and it smeared, I was lucky, because where it smeared, I had to put a dark color. So because there was a dark color going there, it covered it up. But it was there. And I was really, until I kind of looked at it at first, I went, oh no, because I thought I ruined it. And then I realized, oh no, that's where I have to put a really dark, almost black color anyway, so it'll cover it. But that was the case where that's kind of, once you do those types of things a few times, that's when you start to go, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to let this dry for longer, because I just don't want to take a chance on messing up what otherwise is a good image, because I didn't let the thing dry long enough. Easy to do. Very easy to do. Okay, I think that's most of that done. I think I did start messing around with colors on this. I did. Oh, but this is in between. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so where is the sketch part? Pencils. Turn the pencils off. Oh, I see what I did. I was doing it all without lines. Huh. That's interesting. So I initially had it like that. Well, I like it better with the lines myself. So we're going to go in, we're going to fix this, because I like the line work. So, oh, my other computer, which was running with its fans at full blast, just suddenly ramped down. So my guess is that what I was doing there has finished. I'm doing a... Lando, my co-host on the podcast, is... I think I mentioned this in the last stream as well, is Oh yeah, because I was working on the image. By the way, I'll show you that, just so you can see that if you want to see that finished image. Is right here. This is the finished book cover from last time. As you'll notice, the arm is completely redone because he wanted the arm to be all cybernetic, as opposed to having a sleeve on it, which was easy to do. I just had to redraw the arm. And then he wanted it to be a single sun, so that's why there's the single planet now instead of two. And then he wanted the colors to be very... because the original colors are that. That's the original colors. And he said, I'd like to have it more like almost like a sepia tone, but with specific colors. And that's where this came in. So that is the ultimate cover, with the text on it, of course, that you will see when his book is reissued. So, yeah. So that got finished. I was going to wait to do that in the next stream, which would have been this stream. But he's really trying to get going on it, and I didn't want to make him wait. And I knew I had other stuff to draw, so it was perfectly fine. Plus, this is more Halloween themed for October anyway, so it works out better. Anyway, and that way he didn't have to wait, because I didn't want to make him have to wait just because I was going to do a stream on it a couple days later. So we got that done, and yeah, I think he's getting that book, not the reprint, but the paperback issue of it is going, I believe, right now. So I will buy a copy, not only to support him, but then I'll have a book with my artwork on it. That's always neat, to have something that's actually physically in print that has your artwork on it when you can do it. You know, doesn't always happen. When it does, it's nice. Okay, yeah, I forgot that I did all these colors like this, but I'm going to redo them because I want to have them inside the lines. I like colors in lines. I occasionally veer out of that, but I just like to follow the lines. It's old paint by numbers thing. Just follow the lines. So that's what we're going to do here. So yeah, there's going to be some cleanup involved, which is probably going to take me a little bit. So sorry, I didn't intend this to be the cleanup stream, but sometimes it works out that way. It was between this and the other one I was potentially work on was this one here, which is going to be a t-shirt design. And I'm going to do all these eyeballs inside that kind of rectangle. And then as you can see, I'll have like fleshy kind of ripples going through it, and that'll probably be like a green color or something. But I gotta think about what I want to do with that a little more. So I decided to do this instead, because this one, the line work is all done. At some point, I'd like to get this done because I have a feeling that this is probably going to be I don't know if I would ever call any of my work a popular image, but I could see people liking this one because it's, the goblin face is pretty good. It's a memorable looking image in that way. It's I have to do. I think the rest of Shieldred is behind him. Yeah, see, there's Shieldred and some of his arm stuff. So I still have a lot of work to do on this, but it's it's a start. Yeah. I think it'll be good once it's done. It'll be interesting looking, that's for sure. So let's turn the pencils back off here. Get back into this. Just because he's like a the one thing you will find no shortage of is goblin images. It's a very popular monster type. So this is definitely a case of I'm going with a relatively standard kind of goblin face. There's nothing, or orc, whatever. Those two things get used interchangeably too. So I don't even know. I am sure that depending on whether you're playing Dungeons & Dragons or something else, I have no doubt there is a physical difference that is depicted with them. I don't know enough to know what it is. So this may be more of a goblin. This may be more of an orc. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because it's not for something specific. It's just me playing around with something. But I don't know what this would actually be described as. I could since the image was conceived as a Shieldred image originally, I would say whatever this is supposed to be for Magic the Gathering, that's what you would call it, because that's what it's really for. So whatever the proper term for this creature is, which has no backstory or anything. This is not an officially named anything. It's just something I was doing for fun. So you can name this thing whatever you want. I don't typically name the things I draw. I don't come up with names for them. I just never have. So I have no predetermined name for this creature. Therefore, you may call it whatever you like. And it will not bother me because I'm never going to name it. It's just going to be goblin number whatever. Oh, you know what? I guess I should put a line there because it looks like I intended there to be a line there. So let's go ahead and do that. And that way I don't have to worry about erasing or filling that in. So we'll just put another little shape right there. Anything else like that? Did I miss anything else anywhere? No, I think we're okay everywhere else. All right, good. So, yeah, so this is just goblin number whatever. I mean, I don't even number them, really, because I rarely do things that require numbers. I did just have to do zombie number 1 and zombie number 2, because I did 2 zombies very, very recently. 2 zombie women. So I just called one zombie number 1 and zombie number 2. Didn't give them names either. Probably should. Probably should give these things names as opposed to just number 1 and number 2. It would be a little bit nicer. But then again, people do that with music and stuff. They just call it, you know, untitled number 1, untitled number 2, and nobody seems to care. So I don't know that it's really necessary. But at the same time, there is a part of me that thinks that just having numbers is a little bit boring. So maybe at some point I'll call this, you know, Herman the Goblin or something like that. Or Gary the Goblin. Something alliterative would be nice. Boblin the Goblin. Things like that. Yeah. But it's not necessary right this second. I did put a thing there. Okay, well then I gotta put a line there. So let's jump back up to 58. And let's get a line in there. Because it looks like I did intend there to be a line there. So we'll do that. And you know what we probably should? Hold on, it's almost like something's missing there. Is that the hair? Yeah, that's hair. So that really should be a taper pen for this. I don't know why I didn't do this before. It should be like this. Yeah, see, that looks better. Except it should probably be a slight bit thicker than that. So let's go to 5. Let's do something. There we go. Better. Yeah. Something like that. Just to make that a little bit sharper. So it's not as rounded, since the outside hair is already sharp. I was just forgotten to do this. Yeah, I didn't do it over there either, so I'll have to do it there. But we can definitely do it here for now. Sharpen that hair out a little bit. I mean, the nice part is creatures like this aren't expected to have extremely well-groomed hair, so I don't have to worry about it being too nice and neat. Being a bit straggledy, not a real word, is actually a benefit in this case. So I'm okay with that. It does not have to look really, really nice and tidy. In fact, it should not. I would argue goblins shouldn't look all that nice and neat. It should be a little bit unkempt. Great word, unkempt. Sounds like a fake word, but is actually a real word. But sounds fake. Very fake, really. Unkempt. It does not sound like a real English word. And yet it is. I assure you, unkempt is a real word. Nobody really says it, I don't think, except probably authors who want to sound fancy and dopes like me who know that it's a word. But it's... I'm not arguing for its reintegration into normal everyday conversation. It's not a very... It's an ugly sounding word, to be honest. Unkempt. It's not fun to say. And words, you know, I do tend to think that words that are fun to say should be the ones that we stick around, and words that aren't fun to say aren't. They're just words that are fun to say. Ensorcelled. There's a word I learned a while ago that I really like. Real word. Same thing as saying entranced, but it sounds more fun. I've been ensorcelled. It's a great word. Nobody uses it. I doubt most people have ever even heard the word before. I wouldn't know what it was if it wasn't for the TV show West Wing, where somebody said it and I thought it was a fake word. I thought they were being, they were joking when they said it. And then I looked it up. I'm like, no, this is a real word. Wow. Ensorcelled is a real word. Amazing. See, not all TV is bad for you. Sometimes you can learn something. And I mean, besides like Sesame Street type stuff. You can learn from ordinary TV as well. It doesn't always have to be educational. Sometimes you can learn things from normal TV, but not reality TV. You can't really learn anything from that, unless it's chopped. And then you might learn that some people will actually use disgusting ingredients to make things that are edible. Sorry, not eatable, edible. But most reality TV, I would say, don't watch it. It's not good for you. It's mental high fructose corn syrup, which, you know, fine in moderation, but I wouldn't consume too much of it. Let's see. You know what, that last, these don't look right. Let me just do that. There we go. We get a little bit more length on it. Like that's better. Make it look more like it's actually intentionally there, as opposed to just me adding it later, which is tricky to get things to look like they weren't added later. See, like that one, you can tell. There we go. Some of them are going to be easier to tell than others. Can't always avoid it. Not something you have to get fixated on, but it just depends on how much you care, which I sort of do and sort of don't. Care enough to try to make it blend in, but I'm not going to get all that upset if it doesn't. Yeah, see, like that one just does not want to blend in. Let's see. Hey, Furcorn, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. It's just, that one is fighting me a bit. There we go. All right, I think this is the last one right there. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. That looks better. Okay, so now back to erasing. Okay, so let's get back to the colors and do this. All right, let's see here and move that over. I'm glad to hear that. That's great. I'm glad you're doing well. I keep thinking today is Wednesday when it is in fact Tuesday. Don't know why, I'm just slipping a day ahead. Just happens sometimes. Even though it's very clear it is Tuesday to me. I keep going, oh, you know, it's Thursday, it's Wednesday. No, it's not. It's not Wednesday. Not at all. Let's see here. Okay, hey, Chill Mode, how you doing? I'm having a chill day so far. Can't complain. Nice weather. For a walk this morning and didn't sweat to death inside of 5 minutes. That's always a plus. So, yep. No complaints on Tuesday, except for the fact that I keep forgetting it's Tuesday and not Wednesday. But that's not really a big problem. It's just, for some reason, I keep slipping a day ahead. But it's very easy to figure out by just looking at my watch that, oh, it's Tuesday. It's, in fact, not Wednesday. So that is not a huge problem. It's more of a minor weird annoyance. Because I'm like, oh, no, it's not Wednesday yet. So. I'm doing well, Furcorn. I am doing all right. Nothing that I can complain about. Unless you were talking to Chill Mode. In which case, I'll let Chill Mode answer that question. But I'm doing fine. I am doing all right. Just going through and fixing what I did here with the colors before. Okay, so we got a little bit more there. Okay. Not too bad, really. I mean, most of it is where it should be. But yes, I did this. I did these initial colors without the lines present, which... Oh, I'm sure at the time I thought that was what I wanted to do, but it really isn't. I generally like to have lines around my shadow stuff for most images. Not all of them, but most of them. But that's, like I said, it's pretty easily fixed. Just cut out the little parts that are outside the lines and then fill in little sections that are missing. Should not be a tremendous amount of work. Because I'm pretty much following mostly the lines I had before. I just did it without the black lines in place, which, you know, I'm sure there are artists out there who can do that without having the lines. I'm not one of them. So I need those lines for me to know where exactly all this stuff's going to go. I could have redrawn the black lines around the green, but I felt like following my original sketch. I liked how those lines looked. That's why I left the sketches that way. So I'm just going to follow those. I think they look all right. Okay, drink water really quick, because I'm thirsty. There we go. All right, that ear is good. Just looking around. Yeah, I missed those spots, but I'll clean those up in a minute. There we go. Let's get that. And a little bit of here. And a little bit there. Getting there. Yep, there's one. Get that. And that. That's pretty good. That all looks okay. Oh, there we go. Just clean that. And then we'll start pretty close to being done here. This, and then we can get into actually putting more color into it. So we'll do that in a second. A little bit there. So all these little spots that are the tricky ones because they're tougher to see when it's zoomed out, and then you zoom in, they're very obviously there. Unless you have really good eyes, which I do not, and never have had really great eyes. So it's tougher for me to spot these things. Luckily, with an iPad, you can just zoom in. And that makes it a lot easier. Okay. I think I'm pretty much... Well, this I have to do the opposite. Then I have to take it out of the inside of this one, but otherwise that one's okay. I think the rest are okay. Oh, you gotta take this one out, too. That's gotta come out. There we are. And then I think... Well, I keep saying that, and I keep finding things, so I guess I shouldn't say that, but I don't think I'm too far off. I've gotten the most of it, I'm pretty sure. All right. And the plan is, as it is October, my wife and I are taking turns picking horror movies to watch. Tonight is my pick. I haven't arrived at a decision yet. But it was between... What were the three movies? There were three movies that I was trying to pick. I know Cure, which is a Japanese film, was one. What were the other ones? Oh, I think Hellraiser was one. Because she's never seen Hellraiser. And I quite like that movie. So that's... I'm wondering if that might be the one. I like that movie. And then if we watch the first one, then that kind of sets up watching the second one, which I also like. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. I can't remember what the third one was. There was a third one, and I can't remember what the third one was. But I think I have it. I think I have some of them written down somewhere, so I'll just have to go find where I wrote them. And pick one. I have time. I don't have to pick it right now. I still have a while. But I do want to have a decision ready for when she gets home later. Why do I think... I almost had one. I remembered it was... Well, it's not a big deal right now. Okay, I think... Oh, missed a few down here. Like I said, every time I say that, that's almost a guarantee I'm going to find something else. So that, get that there. And I do have something coming from Amazon at some point, so I may have to pause and jump out if they leave something here, because I don't like stuff. Our front door is right near a busy street, so we've never actually had anybody steal a package. We've been lucky that way, but I also make sure I don't leave anything out there very long. And that way I never have to worry about it. So if they drop something off, I will probably just quickly run out and grab it to make sure that it doesn't walk off on its own or with the assistance of someone else, because I do know what happens. Like I said, we've been really lucky. So far, it has not happened, but that doesn't mean it won't. Just because something has never happened before doesn't mean it can't. And the closer you get to the holidays, the more likely stuff like that is. I hate to say it, but it is true. So, and for whatever reason, Amazon really doesn't ring the doorbell like they used to let you know that something is dropped off. They used to be very good about that. They've gotten a little bit lazy on that, which I don't think is a good thing. Compared to, like, say, UPS. UPS always rings the doorbell. FedEx, too. I should say FedEx and UPS are both really good about ringing the doorbell. It's kind of crazy now. FedEx actually will give you a pretty good time frame within about a 3-hour time frame where they're like, all right, we're going to be here between this and this. And they generally have been, which is, I mean, they never used to do that. FedEx doesn't. But like I said, I'm just surprised because UPS does it now. They'll just say, okay, driver's going to be there between 2 and 5 or something like that. It's like, wow, okay. I'm not paying anything extra for that. They just started doing it. Which I'm not complaining. I'm just kind of surprised because it seemed to come out of nowhere. And, yeah, because I know UPS does have some kind of, you can pay for something. I don't know what. I never paid for it, so I don't know exactly what it is, but you can pay for something. Oh, yeah, well, yes, I remember that too. I mean, now there's stuff that's same day, even if you're not paying extra. There was a point where you paid extra for same day shipping. Now certain things just say same day between this and this, which there's nothing I've ever ordered that I ever needed the same day. If I really felt like I needed something the same day, I would just go out to a store and get it. Prime is more like, okay, well, nobody else has it, and, you know, it's not a big rush. I don't have to worry about getting it right away, but now a lot of times they just give you the same day thing for certain stuff, which I'm just sort of astonished by. Because, yeah, I remember when it was 3 days. I mean, I remember when Amazon Prime was just, there was nothing else to it except that, okay, you got packages, 3-day shipping, and that was it. That's all Prime was. There was no streaming service. There weren't all these other things that you get now. That's all it was. I mean, it was also cheaper. It's gone up a little bit, but still. Although, to be honest, I don't know that I really need it anymore. Because I don't do as much shopping on Amazon as I used to, which is not a bad thing. I try to shop local places and stuff like that, but I also just don't buy as much stuff as I used to. Kind of have the stuff I need. It's nice that it's there, because there have been times where I've been looking for, as an example, like my mother, a few years ago, my mother had a DSLR where the battery was not charging, and none of the local camera stores had the battery. Amazon did, so I got it from there. You know? So that's where Amazon is very useful, is they do carry things that nobody else has, nobody local has. So that is a good thing. But a lot of the stuff I used to get on Amazon, I really just don't anymore. I just tend to either buy it directly from the websites of whoever's selling it, or just go get it locally. Because a lot of places now, post-pandemic, you know, they basically all have pickup options now, so you can just order it and it's ready in an hour or whatever. Go to the store and go to the counter and get it. And that's it. Best Buy still does curbside delivery, which I don't need, but I noticed they still do it. But that's another one. If I need something electronic, I can just get it through the Best Buy site or Target, and it's going to be ready in an hour. Almost every place has it, ready within an hour. They just pull it and put it on a thing. Home Depot, Lowe's, all those do it. And if they don't have it, they can ship it from another store to it. All this stuff is just so easy now. It's amazing, really, because None of this type of thing existed when I was really young. Anything you needed, you had to go to a store. I don't remember when Amazon came around, but it was... Well, let's see. What year was Amazon? Let's see. What year? God, I want to say 99? Might have been earlier than that. Let's take a look. I'm curious. Amazon.com. Nope. .com. .com. Let's take a look. When did that come about? Oh, I guess I can't. If I do that, it just goes right to it. Let's take a look. Oh boy, I guess you have to actually search for information about. Hold on. It doesn't work that easily. Here it is. Company. When did Amazon come into existence? Founded in 94, but when did it actually... That was when it was for books. Yeah, so originally it was books. I'm trying to see when. It doesn't say when it changed over. Yeah, Amazon did exist for books. That's right. But it was not what you associate with it now. Yeah. So, yeah, 90s. Okay. So yeah, it was not around when I was really young. It was not there. Because 94 I would have been 16. So yeah, there was no Amazon when I was in high school. Well, I mean there was, but not the way most people know it now. I guess that's the way to say it. Okay, so this should actually be erased. I didn't realize that. Let me erase this. We weren't doing a lot of shopping on it. Let's put it that way. There was certainly no Prime, but even in the early days, it was just books. I do remember getting books from Amazon when it first came out, that they had cheaper books. That was kind of the thing. Amazon was, oh, you can get cheap books there. Because it started off originally as just a bookstore, or a very large bookstore. But even then, I didn't really get a lot from there, because at that point, I had let's see, at that time, there would have been a Barnes & Noble, and there would have been, I don't know, well, we didn't have Borders. Borders, a friend of mine had. We would go to their giant Borders bookstore near him, because it had all the comic books, which was great. But we had Barnes & Noble and Walden Books, that went away, pretty early on when I was younger. Walden Books was gone. I think they got bought by Borders, I want to say. Somebody acquired them, and then they just got rid of it. But yeah, it was basically Barnes & Noble and or Walden Books. Those were the places you went to get books. And then, yeah, Amazon came along, and now, they sell everything. All right, Chill Mode. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. And a safe drive to pick up the little one from school. Thank you for being here. But yeah, Amazon kind of just ate everything up once it came along, especially once it was selling things that were more than books. And then once they did the Prime thing, that was kind of it for everybody else. And now everybody does do the Prime thing to some degree. They all have their version of that type of thing. Oh, the Bookmobile. Yes, that's right. I loved the Bookmobile. That was great that came to school. That was always my favorite thing. I always liked the Bookmobile. Yep. I think they still do those with school. I'd have to ask my sister. She's a teacher. I think they still do Bookmobiles. I'm pretty sure they do still exist. But yeah, I mean, at one point, that was how you got books. Or the library. Which I'm happy that there's still a lot of libraries around. I really, for a while, thought libraries were just going to be gone. And that's really a shame, because libraries are great. I donate to the local library here to keep it open. And you can get like electronic books and everything. Like, you can just check them out electronically like everywhere else. And it's great. It's a great thing. Libraries are fantastic. I love libraries. Because they're just great resources for people who don't necessarily have the money to buy books all the time. Not everybody can just buy Kindle books left and right. And that's where local libraries are great, because they're open to everybody. You just come in and, as long as you don't need a book the day it comes out, which most people really don't, let's be honest. Most people are reading books well after they come out. And libraries are great. So if you have a local library, you should support it in some way, because I'd really hate them to go away. I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon, but it could. It's so easy to take these things for granted. It really is. You just assume things are going to be around for a long time, and then just one day you find out, oh no, they're in trouble. And usually once you find that out, it's too late to do anything about it. So it's, yeah, libraries are great. I love them. Wow, it's only been 40 minutes? Okay. I haven't been keeping track of the time because I've just been babbling. But yeah, I like libraries. We had a great library when I was younger. Nice little one. It wasn't too large because we didn't live in a huge town or anything like that. Certainly not like, you know, like the New York Public Library, which I have been to a few times. And boy, what a place. I mean, that's a beautiful place to be in, but I don't know that I'd want it to be my regular library because it's a mob scene. Understandably. But yeah, we had a small local library, and you kind of got to know the people who worked there, and they got to know you, which is great. Yeah. Stuff like that I've appreciated the older I've gotten, because it's just, there's something different about it. Which isn't to say I don't buy books online. I do. I use my Kindle quite a bit, but I also like the fact that there is just a place that you can go. You can get books. It's a nice thing. And there's lots of stuff like that where I'm like, yeah, I don't want that stuff to ever go away. Bad to just be reliant on one way of getting stuff, like online. Because as crazy as it could sound, I mean, Amazon could go away too. And then if everything is just there, now it's nowhere, because you don't actually own any of that stuff. It's one thing people don't really think about when it comes to buying digital movies, books, all the rest of it. That's why I still buy physical movies on DVD and Blu-ray, because I want to always have a copy of that thing. Or they change it. That's something, what was it I was just reading about? Oh, like the Matrix movies. At one point, they changed all the colors in them. So they look a lot different now than when I saw it in the theater, because they've recolor graded them. And some people like it and some people don't. But if you had the earlier versions of it, well, if that's the color you liked, guess what? They can't change that, because you have that physical copy. It is stuck that way. Or I shouldn't say stuck that way. It will remain that way and nobody can alter it. Whereas a digital copy could literally look different tomorrow than it does today, if they decide they want to change something about it. So physical media is very important too. And books are the same thing, like a library, same thing. That is physical media. It's important to keep those things and different versions of things, so that, you know, if somebody just decides they want to change something and you like it the way that you originally grew up seeing it and watching it, then you have it. It's kind of, a lot of people get upset about this with the Star Wars films, which have been changed and changed and changed. The original, the first three. Because there is no legal way that I'm aware of to buy the original 3 films as they first existed, before the alterations and special editions and all that stuff. And I don't think anybody would complain about the fact that they cleaned the movies up. They did in the, I guess it would have to be the late 90s. They did a kind of, they went through and they cleaned them up and made the sound better, and they just kind of made them look brighter and better, because, you know, they hadn't been remastered in forever. And that was great. I went to the theaters to see that when they did the THX remasters of them. And then they started changing things, or George Lucas started changing things, and that's where people like, and I would count myself among them, is I don't really love the stuff that got changed. I kind of think those movies were better when they were untouched, which is, so I wish there was a way to buy a really good version of the original movies before any tampering had been done. Nope, I don't care that they're selling the new versions. I'm not saying that shouldn't happen. Some of these people think that Star Wars belongs to the fans because, you know, we grew up with it. I don't agree with that. Star Wars belongs to George Lucas. He came up with it. That part's fine. Would I like to be able to buy the original versions before they got altered? Yes. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that we should have the option to watch the original versions. I don't think those are the only ones that have to exist. I think you can have both. But right now, the only ones you can buy are the newer remastered versions, which I think is kind of a shame. Whoa, I didn't mean to bleed over into that. I didn't realize that was going to It supersedes that color? Really? Well, it really shouldn't. This should be on top of that color. So I'll clean that up. That's okay. Let me just clean these edges up here. Because the colors really should be in kind of their actual order, in my opinion. So yeah, the Star Wars movies are a good example. And that's why, there are people who still have their old Laserdiscs of these Star Wars films. Because I think the Laserdisc ones were the last physical media ones you could buy without any of the changes present. I'm pretty sure it was Laserdisc. And then once they went to DVD, those were these special editions, which are what a lot of people don't necessarily want. Again, I'll put myself in that group. I would, if I had a choice, I would watch the original versions. That would just be for me. That would just be my preference. Everybody has their own opinion. Some people like the new versions. That's fine. And I don't necessarily dislike everything that got changed. I think some of the shots that were cleaned up, and like there were backgrounds added to the Cloud City stuff with Lando Calrissian, where they put background elements there instead of just a blank wall. I'm okay with that. I mean, that's harmless enough. It does make the image a little bit nicer to look at when there's actually some background that makes it look like the place is busy and that there's life there besides just the people walking in front of a blank wall because they didn't have the budget or the technology to be able to fill it out. Like, I'm okay with that stuff. I don't think that's ruining everything, but the scene where Han encounters Jabba in the first movie is completely unnecessary and adds nothing, and in fact looks weird because they didn't have digital effects quite where they needed to be for that scene. So Jabba looks very weird and plastic blobby, and I don't think it really enhances anything. It's just a way to say, hey, look what we did. That's stuff I'm less of a fan of, I'll admit. But, making the Millennium Falcon take off look better, sure, okay. That's just enhancements. That's the thing, is CG stuff. There's a lot of people who are older, my age or older, who don't like CG, and they're, talk about there's too much of it in the movies. And I don't really think the right phrase would be there's too much of it. I think it's not usually used to enhance, it just is used in place of things. And that I don't think is great. Because even the best CG, I mean, a lot of stuff today still looks very fake, even with a lot of money behind it. And it's just because CG is not going to be able to simulate certain things. It just doesn't know how. And it's very tough if all you do is work in CG is to know how to, like weight. A lot of the complaints around CG is that things don't feel like they have any weight. And part of that is because the CG artists, they don't really know how to simulate weight because the movies don't really have it anymore. So I'm not anti-CG the way some people are. But I do think it just gets splashed over everything without being utilized in a way that makes sense and that makes the movie better. It's used as just a solution to everything, as opposed to, okay, well, this is where it's needed. There's an important word. Where do we need this? And instead of determining where something is needed, they're just like, well, rather than do this, we're just going to use CG for it. We'll just CG it in. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's like, well, okay. Yeah, it's the same color. That's what I thought. So what I need to do is create another layer underneath this one for a darker green. Yeah, that's where I fall on that stuff. So again, I'm not as anti all of it as some people. Some people are just, oh, you should have CG in movies, period. All right, well, there are safety reasons for it where it's valuable, so that people don't have to hurt themselves doing stunts, or that they can have safety wires so that it's less dangerous. I'm all for that. And that's, where, like in the Mission Impossible movies, when Tom Cruise is doing these stunts, well, he's actually got a lot of safety wires. Doesn't make what he's doing less dangerous, I don't think. It just means that they're not going to... Oh, I put that in the wrong field. Just realized. Sorry about that. Yep. I completely messed that up. So, that's okay, though. I still have the color. Oh, no, I don't. All right, I have to get the right layer. Hold on. That's my fault. I did that on the same layer as the other stuff, which I should not have done. There we go. So that's a place to use CGs. Okay, you know, we don't want Tom Cruise to get killed riding a motorcycle off a ramp, which could happen. Stunts have gone wrong in history a lot of times on movie sets. You know, it happens a lot less. Fortunately, it still happens. There are certain things where you can't eliminate all the risk of something, but it happens a lot less than it used to. And a lot of the reason for that, I think, is because now you can use CG to erase all these safety lines and wires. So the stunt still looks really good. It still looks like the person is doing whatever the thing is that they're doing, but they don't actually have to take a risk of killing themselves for it, because I don't think any stunt is worth dying for. No movie is worth dying for. No stunt is worth dying for. It just isn't. So that's something where I think... Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I forgot about all those lines. Look at all that. Wow. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just duplicate all my work? I did. I didn't realize I'd already done this. Oh, what an idiot I am. I'd already done a whole layer of this stuff. Well, you know what? That's okay. That's fine. I just, you know, it's the same difference. Yep, I'm a dope. It's kind of funny. But luckily, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Didn't have to redo that much, really. But I may actually make those colors darker. I'm trying to think. Oh, what do I want to do here? What do I want to do here? Oh, you know what? I need to put another... No, I don't. Actually, no, I don't. Let's just fill in some of the armor colors, though. Just so it's not just white space. So like here, let's pick a color like this, just as a fill color for some of the armor plating. Oh, I didn't select the color. Let's select the color there. There you go, buddy. This is probably not the permanent color. This is just a temp color. Just so I've got it in here. I have to fix that. Didn't realize I missed this. Hold on a minute. Yep, let's get that there. I didn't realize I hadn't finished some of these. And then, yeah, I'm just going to put in some temp colors for the armor, just so it's... Right now, it's just a lot of white space outside of the goblin's face, and I'd like to fix that. Okay, I think that's the only part I really missed. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, back to this. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I was talking about something. But yeah, that's why... Oh, because this was all basically me saying, you know, support your libraries. You should. They're important. I think they're more important than most people consider. So yeah, I would say if you can, support your local library in some way. Because I think we're all better off with libraries. We're all better off when there's some place that we can go that isn't online to get stuff we need. I'm not anti-internet or anything like that. I'm definitely not. I'm streaming on the internet. Obviously, I'm not anti-internet. The internet has a lot of really great stuff for everybody. I think it's one of the most tremendous ways for us to be able to communicate with each other and be able to know people in different places and different cultures better. It's tremendously great for diversity, and that stuff's all important. But at the same time, some of the stuff that existed before should still be there. Because not everybody, unfortunately, has the same access. You know, we get used to the... If you've always had internet around you, you kind of just get used to it being around. You just assume, well, everybody has this. Well, that's not the case. Not everybody has persistent internet. Not everybody has good internet. So the idea that, oh, I can just stream every single movie I want to. Well, yeah, if you have a good connection, you can. I've been very lucky. I've had a good connection. Pretty much every place I've ever lived has had a fairly good internet connection. That's very lucky. It's a privilege to have that. Not everybody has that. And for people who don't, or, you know, can't afford the high... I mean, the internet's not free. So, and if you can't... Some Kindle books, $13, $14 a pop, well, that adds up. There are cheaper ones, but a lot of them are around $10 to $15. Some are more. So a library, generally free or very low cost. And, you know, for some people, that's a necessary resource. I think those things should be around. They should be preserved. Every town should have a library. Unfortunately, that doesn't come for free either. Okay, so we got some armor colors on this guy. I don't know what color I want his eyes to be. I do want to give him kind of some kind of color on his teeth. Nothing too grand, but just something not white. I don't think a goblin's teeth would be white, so we'll go ahead and give these tusks and the teeth some color. And that might be where we stop our stream or bring our stream to a close for today and probably for this week. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do the stream on Thursday. Probably not. And might have a little time tomorrow, but I don't know. I really don't. I think it's unlikely. So I don't even want to get anybody's. I don't want to commit to anything with that. You know what I'm going to do? Those teeth are going to be a little darker. So actually, let's make. Hey Jitters, I'm good. How are you? I'm actually just getting ready to wind up the stream for today. Sorry, we just got here. But pretty much getting up to the hour point here. So let me color these teeth in. But I'm doing well. Hopefully you are too. Happy Tuesday. Alright, so we got the teeth have some color on them. You know what? I think I'm just going to go with, for now anyway, just like a deep red for the eyes. I don't know if that's going to be the permanent color, but it's just something to do in there. Or some similar color. I don't know. Let's see what colors look good. Obviously not green. I think red. Maybe just a brighter red. Something. Oh, even orange. Orange isn't a bad color. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. That's good for now. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. And then I think I'm going to do another shade of green in there too on the face to kind of give half of it a little bit more, a little bit of a different feel. And then I probably should just do like silver in between the layers of the armor, just so it's got something there. So let's grab that paintbrush and let's just do some silver connecting bits here. Then I'll do a different color of that copper or gold, whatever that color is that I've currently got it. Just like I said, this is just to kind of start giving some weight to the colors here. So they're a little bit different. Oh, hey, I get it. Yeah, I had to stream a little bit earlier today because I'm not going to have time later. But yeah, I'm familiar. Hey, like I said, you know, number one, you can play. I think the Twitch replay of this will be up in like 15 minutes after it ends, so you can rewatch it from the beginning, which will be mostly me fixing a bunch of mistakes and then realizing that I had done all that work for really nothing because I just missed a layer where I'd already done a bunch of this line work. So, you know, not the most impressive stream in terms of making me seem like I know what I'm doing, but nonetheless, it'll be there. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Let's do this. And let's do this here. No, that's fine. I mean, listen, you got school, you got school. But yeah, and then as I say this all the time, but just as a reminder, all these eventually go up on the YouTube channel. So, because YouTube, Twitch expires them I think after 7 days. So then I put them up on the, all of them go up on the YouTube channel. So, oh, whoops. That's over that, so I'll erase that in a minute. I'm going to probably change this, but this is just a temporary color. I'll fix that in a second. Just like I said, so I've got some kind of coloring on the armor, so you can kind of see where it's going to end up. Let's fix that. There we go. And let's fix that. There we are. And there we are. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if these colors are going to stay like this, but... Ooh, that's a good color, though. Let's pull that. Actually, let's brighten that one up, but I do kind of like that's more of a... Hold on a minute. Yeah, something like that. And then, well, now that makes me reconsider. This one should probably be brighter. Maybe that's... Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. That's good. Okay. Getting there. It's getting there. Yeah. Okay. So that's... Put the pencil lines back on just so you can see the... You know... Well, you know what I'll do is I'll take the pencils off of what I've done. So... Where's that? Oh, that stays. That stays. That stays. That stays. Where's his face? Oh, it's got to be down here. There it is. Yep. Wait, where's this? Yeah, that comes off. I'm assuming that's got to come off too. Yep. Okay. Where's this? Oh, yeah, that's face. Okay, so that comes off. That comes off. That comes off. That comes off. Oh wait, where are the spikes on the armor? Did I accidentally get rid of those? I think I did. Yeah, those can stay because I still have to do the spikes. That can go. I know what that is. That goes. Actually, you know what? Why are these not all linked? These should all be together because they're all him. And so should these. That goes down. That goes down. And I just turn that off. Those stay on because that's the spikes. Turn that off. Turn that. That's her. What's this one? That's got to be her. Where is that? Oh, that's his forehead. Okay, turn that off. I don't need the assist on that anymore either. That's her. Okay, so yeah, that's about right. There's still some pencil lines, but that's okay. They can stay. Yeah. So that's where we are right now. Yep, that is the controlled or entranced goblin or whatever you want to call it. And that, 1 hour, 3 minutes. Perfect. Good timing. Good timing. So let's do that. There we go. And yeah, so that's going to do it for today. Thank you for stopping by. I've got to fix the new version of, what's the word for it? The new version of iPad OS came out, and it lets you tint all of your icons. And I did that, but I probably should put it back because it doesn't look like I thought it would. Which is okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just that, yeah, I don't think it quite looks the way. Oh, I remember how it is like this. It doesn't quite look how I thought it would. Yeah, the tint is weird. Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's just not quite. Oh, well, that's better. Yeah. It's a strange tint to it. Yeah, it's odd. Don't know whether I like it or not. Whereas I think if I just go with kind of simple white, that's maybe better. That might be better. Just nice black and white monochrome. Anyway, sorry. I'm just sitting here customizing icons on my iPad, which is exciting to no one. Anyway, thank you for stopping by the stream. And as I said earlier, these all go up on YouTube. So they're not like next day, but they do all eventually get here. And you can, of course, watch their replays on Twitch. So on that note, thank you for stopping by. Jitters, go find somebody else who's drawing stuff. Doesn't just have to be me. So keep going with it. There's other people drawing all the time doing creative stuff. So go and find that, because there's lots of great people doing lots of great work. So go support them by going by their streams, and if they have Patreons or whatever, donate to those, because creators need as much help as they can get. Trust me. I know a few that I try to help out, and I know it's not easy for them. So they appreciate it. And so do I. I appreciate you just coming by and hanging out. Whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching later, does not matter to me. I just appreciate people coming by and saying hello and watching me doodle stuff, and sometimes redoodle stuff that I didn't really need to because I'd already done it. So yeah, that's how art is sometimes. Sometimes you end up realizing you just redrew something for absolutely no reason. Hey, whatever. It's still fun for the most part. This was not an annoying thing I had to redo. I've had things where I realized I did a bunch of extra work and it was really annoying. This wasn't one of those cases, so I'm just going to laugh it off. Anyway, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day, your morning, your evening, your night, whatever it is. And until the next stream, thank you for stopping by and hanging out. And until next time, take care.